Welcome to my channel. The slides that are rolling by are an indication of some of the things that I cover on a regular basis in my videos. Once you have watched the video, I would appreciate it if you would click the like button and leave a small comment. It's really a big help to the channel. The YouTube logarithm, when it sees that, promotes the channel more and will be more viewers. I would appreciate that very much. Thank you for watching. Well, hello everybody. It's June 2nd. Angel and I are out putting a few clips together to hopefully get a video up this weekend. I just transplanted my brassicas today. There are 6 each of broccoli, cabbage, and cauliflower in that bed. At this end here, there are 6 broccoli. I gave the cabbage a bit more space, hopefully. And there are 6 cabbage in the middle and 6 cauliflower down at the far end. I've had them out of the house and in the greenhouse for probably about 2 weeks, I guess. But I finally decided I had to get them out in the garden, so I weeded that raised bed and added 4 15 kg sacks of composted sheep manure. So hopefully that will raise the food value in there for them. I have also purchased BTK, Bacillus thuringiensis, and the K I think stands for potassium. It has potassium in it as well. Anyway, a biological insecticide. Supposedly will take care of the cabbage loopers as well as a lot of other caterpillars. Any kind of a caterpillar eats it. They just stop eating after they've eaten some of it and die eventually. So I plan to spray with BTK and see if I can't keep them from being devoured by the cabbage looper. My 9 containers of potatoes were planted, well, at least 2 weeks ago, I guess. And it had been not all that warm, but they're just starting to come up now. Excuse me. I think most of them, I see at least 1 or 2 of them are up, and I planted 3 in each container. So and now that the warmer weather is here, I'm sure they will take off. A look in through the door of the greenhouse, things are really coming along. I'll show you around several of the things that are doing fairly well. These are things that have yet to be transplanted out into the garden, but have got to go out pretty soon now. They're starting to get true leaves. Upper left in that sort of a white colored flat, those are gourds, selection of various miscellaneous kinds of gourds. And I have an area where I plan to plant a lot of them, but I think there's more there than I'll need. Probably some of them will be gifted. And top right, that is summer squash, a zucchini type of a squash. And lower right is my winter squash, a buttercup type squash. In between you might see a few pots with some cucumbers and whatever, and then those are for a friend. This is the French heirloom melon, Prescott Fond Blanc. And it says on the seed packet that the actual melon sort of looks like a squash-like, but is a cantaloupe type flavor. So we will see. I never have terrific luck with melons. There were 3 or 4 seeds in there, and I've left 2 of them, and we'll see what happens later on in the season, I guess. The Italian flat leaf parsley has really come along quite nicely. It's only been in the ground there for a little over a week, 10 days or so, and it's doubled in size. So that came from Richter's. This is the Spanish chili de arbol. I grew 4 from seed, all planted under lights the same day, midwinter, I guess you might say. I think it was around the 1st of March or late February sometime. That's the tallest one that we're looking at, and the only one that so far has had blossoms. I do see another one that has got blossom buds, but That is, for some reason, that's almost twice the size of the other plants, and I keep shaking it every day to see if I can't get the flowers to pollinate. Well, the 8 cells in this bed each have one cucumber plant growing in them. The 2 closest to the camera here are called Carmen. What we would call an English cucumber here, those long, slender, seedless cucumbers that are almost always shrunk wrapped in plastic in the grocery stores here. Don't know if it's the exact same variety or not, but I've grown them before and they're very similar. And the other 6 are Quarantine, which is a European gherkin. Grows to about 4 inches long. Makes great pickles and relish. I really like the things. I grew them last year. Both varieties, as I have said before, are what they call parthenocarpic. All female blossoms, no pollination required. Every blossom produces a cucumber. So 8 plants. I'll get more cucumbers than I know what to do with, I'm sure. Well, at last, I'm starting to get a bit pleased with my onions. An Italian heirloom called Rosa di Milano, and had been laying flat on the ground since I planted them, but all of a sudden there's a lot of new growth, and that new growth is very vertical, so that's got me feeling better. I'll try to zoom in on one and show you something in a minute or two. I'm sure I've mentioned it before and you probably already know, but I'll have a look anyway. You can have a look anyway. The 2 cells at the back on the left there, the first one has got basil in, and that's doing quite well, and the other one has got dill. It's overcrowded but doing well. So I'm trying to select an onion plant that has the most leaves. The first stage of onions growing is what they call the vegetative state, and it puts all of its energy into growing the leaves. And once we've had the summer solstice and the days start to shorten, it will then put all of its energy into growing the bulb, the onion. But a few years ago I learned something, and I can't stop talking about it. Every leaf on the plant is a ring on the onion. So this one has got 5 large ones standing up here, and this one that was there before laying down 6. I think that's also part of it, so that's 7. 7 rings so far on that onion, and they will continue to grow in the what they call the vegetative state until the end of June, so hopefully there'll be even more. Well, if you remember in my last video, I was so pleased and showed off my 3 radicchio plants that were doing quite well. That very night, something ate all 3 of them right down to ground level. 2 of them have come back. The 3rd one just vanished. And if you see some other little seedling things in there, I did put some more seed in. I think some of that is seedlings. I was just pulling out some weeds. Hopefully I didn't pull out the radicchio. But whatever it was, it ate the radicchio and never touched anything else in here. So I don't know what that kind of a critter that might have been, but it must be an Italian. It likes its radicchio. This is some of the Hampton lettuce, which has really started to grow nicely. I've got to seed some more. I think right next to it is the bed that's had the French breakfast radish, are just about finished. I'll be seeding some more in there to come on for a crop after these. I had planted 4 in this plot here. Don't think I ever had all 4. I think only 3 germinated. 2 are a good size like you're looking at, and 1 is still smaller, so that's good. They won't all be ready the same day anyway. Lots of green strawberries, and this is only the 2nd day of June, so I'm anticipating ripe strawberries sometime in June anyway. The whole bed is really looking quite good. My sweet tumblers are starting to have some green tomatoes on anyway. Not sure how big they're supposed to grow, but there's hundreds of blossoms all over the place here because I have 10 in containers that I hope to sell sometime later this summer. Growing very well. And this plant here, hopefully I'm showing it to you, that is the green German, one that's still green when it's ripe. and it is really going up rapidly. Now that the warmer weather is here, I have to come out here and water every evening, and I think today might have been about our warmest day so far. I was just out in the truck and it got up to 25 degrees Celsius according to the thermometer in the truck. So if it was 25 degrees Celsius outside of the greenhouse, it was well into the high 30s in here, so it dries out quickly. We come out and hand water every night. Well, I have one more task to do, and then I'm going in to see if I can't have some dinner. This is my patch of broccoli de rabe. The name of this particular variety was called Zamboni rabe. That is also sold in grocery stores as rampini. I have never grown it before, but I have bought it, and I know that I like it. I was saying last time that I could stand to be corrected. I thought it was the same thing that the English call rocket, and Southpaw Davy corrected me. It is not rocket. Hot weather now, it is got to be harvested and eaten soon. But I'll show you if I get a handful here. Hopefully I've got something in here that I can show you. Yeah. Hopefully you can see that. These little flowerets here are where it gets its broccoli part of its name. It's sort of, if you used your vivid imagination, you could say that was like a tiny hit of broccoli. But you harvest it now before those bloom. I certainly hope I'm showing you that. I guess so. Maybe not in focus, but you can see it anyway. Now, I will continue and get myself a nice handful of this, because like any green, it cooks up to nothing when you're cooking it. But I've got to get this eaten. It does not like hot weather, and it's getting hot now. It's going to bolt and get tough and everything. So it's just a small patch, but I'll get 2 or 3 meals out of it. Well, thank you very much for watching.